Peace and blessings, family, love, and light. It's your brother, Omni, also known as Omni Omnis. This is another segment of Sunday Soul Sessions, all right? And this is a scientific and historical literacy for indigenous people, all right? So we welcome you all into the building so we can talk about things that's going on in the world as it relates to science and history, all right? Things that benefit black people, all right? Now, today we're going to be talking about COVID-19 exposed, all right, part 3. And that's going to be a little bit of some different information than the last time. So I got some new surprises for you guys. All right. So we're gonna be building. So let's talk about the COVID-19 and some of the things that we see going on in the world. All right. So COVID-19 is a virus, family. All right. COVID-19 is a virus. A virus is an infectious parasitic microorganism. Okay. Now, viruses and parasites are precursors of disease, all right? Viruses and parasites are precursors of disease, all right? So for you guys who want to channel in, I'm going to give you a little time to get in the building so we can build about this thing. Again, there's not too many teachers out there that's presenting scientific literacy, but we do have some historical scholars, but we need more scientific scholars so we can challenge colonial institutional learning and education, because we understand that we're still dealing with colonialism and that the indigenous people never got their land or their resources back. So we can't forget that. So the first step is claiming your independence. It's functioning independent, family. The first thing that the Europeans did to establish this nation, the United States of America, was declare their independence from those who were in political dominance at the time. So it's very important that we become self-reliant in different ways. One of the ways we must become self-reliant is education, okay? It's okay to examine and look into some of the research that's going on out there and checking into, you know, different scholastic articles and scientists or whatnot. But we have to learn how to research, compare, contrast, and see what makes sense. Make it make sense 2020, family. So it's all about making it make sense. So that's what we come to do tonight. So according to the American Chemical Society, right? We're talking about COVID-19 exposed and how COVID-19 relates to immunity. All right, so you have immune suppression, you have immune induction, which is artificial, right? So you have one that's artificial, and then you have one that's natural. So you can be inherited. All right. And you also can develop disease from induction, from interacting with things that are artificial, things that are artificially introduced to the immune system, which has no compatibility or no immunological purpose, okay? Things that don't have immunological purpose can harm the immune system. So, according to the American Chemical Society, people's blood type may be associated with COVID-19 risk. All right? Now, the American Chemical Society is a scientific society based in the United States that supports scientific inquiry in the field of chemistry. And like I said, biochemistry is the branch of science concerned with the chemical and physiochemical properties which compose living organisms. So humans, animals, and plants are all living organisms composed of certain things, chemicals, okay, particles. So this is what determines who you are genetically, all right? So according to the ABO blood group study, there's A blood type, B, there's A, they have O blood types. Now, for you guys that's in the thread, see if you can pull up a blood type chart and post it below for individuals who need a illustration for reference, okay? So you have O, which stands for oldest or original. And then you have A, which is based upon the presence of A antigen, B antigen. AB has A and B antigen. So antigens are genetic mutations that are found present in the DNA of some modern humans, okay? And it's particularly related to Rh incompatibility and hemolytic disease of the newborn, okay? So these are mutant genetic markers that are found present in some modern humans, not all, okay? So immunity is directly correlated to DNA and genes. So in the O blood type, you see that it does not possess any antigens, okay? The antigen is the mutant genetic marker, which is the precursor of disease. So disease can be genetically inherited in A blood types, B and AB, but not in the O blood group because it does not have the precursor of disease. Now, to move on, okay, this is from medical.mit.edu, okay? Now it says that they observe that individuals with type A blood appear to be at significantly higher risk of contracting the virus, okay, constituting nearly 38% of the ill patients compared to the 31% of healthy individuals with this blood type, okay? Now, the risk for individuals with type O appeared to be significantly lower, all right? Just 26% of the cases versus the 34% of the healthy control groups. So O blood type was said to have a significantly lower risk of contracting virus, okay? And that's according to medical.mit.edu for reference, all right? So it's not just me with my own independent research. There are other researchers and scholars who can give reference to what I'm saying. So your blood type is directly associated to your immunity, to your immune level. And you have different genotypes or different blood type groups that have different levels of immunity. So we can't forget that. So when they get on the TV talking about blood type, immunity, and the coronavirus, they need to talk about immunity because it's impossible to develop disease without the infiltration of the immune system. Like I said, disease is a disorder in the structure and the function of the human body, of a human, animal, or a plant. Okay, not just humans, but plants and animals as well, because we're all made of cells, which are biological units of life. Okay, so the cells have a specific structure in order. So these viruses are not of the body. These are external, foreign microorganisms. Okay, my thing is this too, family. When they talk about the coronavirus, and they doing these different tests as far as like sticking this long Q-tip down your nose and all of that. That's the scaring people. Okay, these are scare tactics. These are things that they're using to propagate this pandemic. So look, my thing is a blood test. We understand that a blood test is an analysis performed on the blood, right? That is extracted from the veins, all right? And it's used to determine certain things, your glucose levels, your cholesterol levels, disease, physiological, biochemical states of the body. Blood tests are used to detect drugs in the body, okay? different things that a blood test can determine, all right? Because your blood is what constitutes everything that you are biochemically, as well as things that you've ingested as far as diet, okay, and environment. So blood tests, we need to get them popping if we're trying to determine who has the coronavirus and who is more susceptible than the next person. Okay, it seems like there's a lot of generalization going on, a whole lot of generalization, and they're not admitting to the fact that people have different genes and that disease can be genetically inherited based on your genetic predisposition, but can also be artificially induced. Okay, so coronavirus, get into the etymology. Corona meaning crown, right? Meaning crown virus. It's in reference to these spike proteins, right? These spike proteins that are found in the DNA of AB and AB blood types. That's why I say that disease is genetically inherited, but can also be biochemically induced. Bio meaning body, induce meaning to initiate, all right? To initiate biologically, all right? So crown virus, coronavirus. And we know that a virus in microbiology is an infective agent that typically consists of a nucleic acid molecule, right? And it's too small to be seen with light microscopy and is able to multiply within living cells. So the multiplication of these parasitic microorganisms is what takes over the body and compromises the immune system. Just like humans reproduce, viruses are biological organisms that can reproduce, but it's not sexually, okay? They take over the body, and these spike proteins, also known as pepolymers, okay? A spike protein is known as a pepolymer, okay? It's a glycoprotein spike on a viral capsid or viral envelope. These protrusions bind only to certain receptors on the host cell, all right? Now they are essentially for both host specificity and viral infectivity. Now the tail fibers of some bacteriophages, especially the T4 phage, are modified. All right, so the pepolymers, which are spike proteins in AB and AB blood groups, are like tentacles, all right? And they pretty much take over the whole cell, and they use these spike proteins to latch on to other cells to multiply and reproduce through cellular multiplication, or cellular division, or mitosis. That's another name for it. So normal cells are absent of these mutations and these spike proteins. So we coming to build about it, family. I know it might be a little information heavy, but if you can just bear with me, there are things that we need to pay attention to, family, because pretty soon we might be getting these coronavirus vaccines, and we don't want to put these babies at risk, our melanated children whom we love, you feel me? So we got to do what we can and play our part to make sure they're good in the future and for the next generation. So we got to get to learning. These Europeans have been learning for years, you feel me? Modern science is over 200 years old now, okay? And, you know, there's a lot of European scientists that are being credited with findings and different things. So we need black scholars that are into science, not just religion, and people who actually have other sources of information, okay? So the coronavirus, also known as an acute upper respiratory syndrome, such as COVID-19, MERS, SARS, etc., right? These are all pathogenic microorganisms that infect the body, okay? Now, like I said, an antigen is found on the surface of the pathogen, okay? And An antigen is a toxic or other foreign substance that contaminates the surface of red blood cells and hemoglobin, commonly associated with Rh incompatibility, as well as other autoimmune responses and immunogenic immune responses. Okay, so is called an antigen. It is regarded as a threat by the immune system and is capable of stimulating an immune response, thus Rh incompatibility. Individuals who do not have the Rh biological marker, who are not inherent to precursors of disease, cannot interact with individuals who are Rh positive or individuals who do possess the pathogenic microorganism in their blood. Okay, so AIDS, HIV, different virus infections are similar to the coronavirus and have a similar structure and function. Okay, may not be the exact same virus, but it works very, very similar. So we want to stay clear of viruses. We want to keep the immune system healthy and strong, and do everything that we can to prevent infiltration. Just like colonialism, had we had more defense or military defense, we could have been able to prevent infiltration. And it's the same thing with the body. When your immune system is strong, you can prevent infiltration. All right, the microorganism is a foreign, toxic, biological entity that invades the body. All right, so when your immune system is strong, it's impossible to infiltrate the body. All right, now talk about genotype. Genotype or genome is a person's unique combination of genes, okay, or genetic makeup, also known as genetic makeup. Thus, the genotype is the complete set of instructions of how that person's body synthesizes proteins, okay, and thus how the body is supposed to be built and function. So we have different structure and functionality as humans based upon your genotype, your genes, okay. The phenotype is the actual structure and function of a person's body. So you have the gene type and then you have the physical type. The gene type translates into the physical type. So genes are directly in correlation to physiological characteristics and traits. All right? So we understand that. Now, blood type is genotype. All right? Cell type is genotype, is a gene type. So your blood is a byproduct of your genes. Now, technically, DNA are biological ingredients. Like I said, it's like culinary. When you want to make certain things in culinary, it requires specific ingredients to get a specific result. So people who look the same have the same or similar genes. All right? So this thing with black people in the coronavirus, they might want to think again because, like I said, the O blood type, which stands for oldest or original, okay, oldest or original, absent of genetic mutation, Rh negative, meaning there are no biological markers present in that genetic group, okay, so it has no precursor of disease. So this is not racism. This is just science, family. This is my disclaimer. This is not racism. This is just science, all right? And black people, we have to get more into the scholastic side of things. We got a lot of basketball players, a lot of singers, rappers, and all of that. But, these niggas is in the circus, family. And we need individuals who is going to be able to help black people move forward, all right? Now, I'm just trying to do everything that I can to help in which way that I can. So I like study, I like knowledge, and anything I can do to help my people. All right? So people got different gifts and abilities. So you do what you can to help the cause. All right? So we know COVID-19 is a form of immunosuppression. COVID-19 is a form of immunosuppression. Immune suppression immunosuppression is the innate ability of the body to ward off disease and infections. Okay, so if your immune system is low, it'll be harder for your body to fight off diseases and infections, which is something they must mention when talking about COVID, the coronavirus. All right, just don't give us the Rona, and you ain't gonna talk about immunity, family, because they go hand in hand. It's impossible for the immune system to be compromised with adequate immune defense. All right. Now we know that there's a such thing as a recessive gene and there's a such thing as a dominant gene. Okay. We know that black can produce, the blackest of the black can produce brown, can produce light brown, can produce red, can produce even white. It's called albinism. So we blacks have albinos that are still African people of African descent, but there are small genetic variations, but yet still the same species. So when you think about other ethnicities, who else can do that? What other gene group can do that? Can whites produce black? Can whites produce anything other than white? The answer is no, okay? And this is an example of the dominant versus recessive genes. Like was talking about genetic annihilation of the colonial descent. You feel me? People of European and Asian descent have recessive genetic traits. So the A, the B, and the AB blood type have antigens, which are genetic mutations, which are recessive genetic traits that results in lower immunity, family. So I know they ain't talking about that on TV, but we're going to talk about it today. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Let me see what else we got. So yeah, family, y'all talk to me. Let me know what y'all think about this. I see a lot of coronavirus talk going on. People wearing masks, scared, tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like I wear masks sometimes when I go into the store. Sometimes I forget. I don't always wear masks. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But my thing is, if somebody gonna tell me something, it's okay for us to engage, for us to build, but I'm not going to just accept any advice because I'm not a believer, okay? My spiritual system is a science-based system, okay? I'm a naturalist. So my area of study is the sciences of nature, knowledge of nature, knowledge of creation, all right? When you understand the mechanics of something, then it's harder for you to be bamboozled or to be deceived. It's like when you go to a mechanic. Like if you don't know mechanic work, then you can be deceived by the mechanic. But if you knew more information about cars, it'll be harder for that mechanic to get over on you. You know what I'm saying? So we got to tighten up on knowledge and information. Because a lot of black people are going to the doctor, getting sick, you feel me? Having artificial immune responses. It's occurring from biochemical induction, inorganics. Melanin is an organic biochemical compound, okay? And it's present in the highest concentrations in people of African descent, all right? So the more melanin that you have, the better, all right? But just because you don't have the darkest of the darkest melanin doesn't mean that you have genetic mutation or that you are hybrid, okay? All original species are capable of producing an albino or albinism, which is a natural mutation. But the thing with the Rh negative and the Rh positive is there's a artificial genetic mutation which was caused by man, all right? So we know there's a such thing as genetic modification, GMO, genetically modified organisms. And this is possible through scientists practicing horizontal gene transfer, all right, where the genetic material can be artificially altered and certain codons can be turned on in sequence and turned off, all right? So we see that people in European and Asian descent lack melanin and they don't have the ability to go out in the sun and go out in nature and interact with things that are purely organic. And so we have a lot of artificial things. This is a very artificial society. And it's almost turning the people artificial on the low because you consuming artificial things. And we know that matter and energy are both correlated, all right? So one is not absent of the other. So matter is energy. So the foods that you eat and the things, the particles that you are around can influence you, all right? So we really don't know how black people would be in our natural state. We never seen it. There's so much man-made manipulation going around that we have never seen the indigenous people in their natural original state. All right, not in our lifetime, but if you go back in history, you will see that we had more scientific advances. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see GMO. You don't see that on hieroglyphics. Okay, you see symbols of nature, the Medu Nature. Okay, you see symbols of things that give honor and respect to creation. So we got to get back in tune with the universe, family, with creation. Like I say, creation is nothing but the reflection of the artist's mind, okay? Creation shows you how God thinks, all right? So when you get into the science and the mechanics of creation, you can see the actual intent of God. And in creation, genetically modified organisms is an infringement. That's an infraction, okay? If God is intelligent, if God is omnipresent, if God is omnipotent, then we shouldn't feel like we have to go around God to exist. And we see that there are political regulations and policies put into play to ensure that we live an unnatural life in an unnatural environment. Okay? So, when you guys get a chance, if there's anything that I've said that has registered or resonated with you, feel free to Cash App. I'm gonna make sure I drop my Cash App information in the comments, and it should be in the video headline too. But if you guys have any questions personally that you want to ask me, like I said, I am an independent researcher, and I'm pretty good at what I do. I know there's other people that do what I do, but I'm one of the best out there. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to knowledge and information, this is what I do. This is what I love to do. I put a lot of time, a lot of energy into this, and I'm ready to debate, not just a brother or one of my sisters, but I'm ready to debate a European from one of these colleges. They know some science. That's what I want to do. Can't wait to get one on, because I know what I'm talking about, family. All right. So we understand that microorganisms are genetically modified organisms created through pathology. Pathology science deals with the creation of pathological organisms, pathological microorganisms, pathogens. Okay, and that's what the COVID-19 is a pathogen. Okay, these microorganisms do not derive from nature. These are man-made. So the pandemic is man-made. Okay, just keep that in mind. It's man-made, family. So and one thing, like I said, we understand that it's man-made. We see that they're leaving out education about immunity and genetics, but we big on the coronavirus. What about AIDS? What about SARS, MERS? You know what I'm saying? HIV, other things that came out, the Zika virus. You know what I'm saying? Why they won't on TV building about that, scaring people with that? Those are things that killed a lot of people, but there was no big media coverage on that. And that's for a reason, family. You feel me? So, just some things to think about. There's some things to think about, family. I ain't gonna try to give y'all too much in one segment, but I'm gonna make sure I give you just enough. So let me see what we got. And I'm about to start doing some PowerPoints soon too, so y'all can actually see me as I research. So you guys can witness me actually researching. I know some people, you know what I'm saying, kind of don't like to get into it and do all that on their own. So you can come to me and, you know what I'm saying, build with me, make a small donation for the time and the energy, or I can give you guys some references for you to go look up on your own. Okay? You know, we just cover in the beginning how infection by invasion, right? Infection by invasion. Viruses are internal parasites, infectious microorganisms that invade the body by hijacking normal cells as hosts, producing malicious abnormal cells. All right? And then, like we said, according to the American Chemical Society, people's blood type may be associated with COVID-19 risk. So that's not just me saying that. Like I said, you can go look up the American Chemical Society and you'll see that statement made. There's other articles dealing with COVID-19 and talking about blood type and COVID-19. So y'all be sure to check that out when you get a chance. Now, and then the other joint was by medical.mit.edu. medical.mit.edu. Okay, and they talked about how type O blood appeared to be significantly lower, okay, than other types as far as susceptibility to coronavirus, all right? And that's due to what? The antibodies. The antibodies are immune self-defense mechanisms, immunoglobulins. And when you got adequate antibodies, like the O blood type, which has 2, no immune deficiencies or mutations, it has superior immune defense. So it would make sense as to why they would say that. So I'm not just reading this and I don't have any understanding about it. I've studied this before I even went and read that. So when they said that, it made a lot of sense. I understand that the O blood type has superior immune defense. All right? And the other types have compromised immune defense with either 1 antibody or 0. AB has 0 immune defense mechanisms, which are the antibodies. So the antibodies are crucial to the whole coronavirus study, because that's what's going to defend your body against the virus. All right? So we seen that. Then we had another joint. Let me see. Now, here go another one right here, family. It says that, and this is by Texas Medical Center. Texas Medical Center, okay? Blood type may play a key role in determining who contracts COVID-19 and how severe the illness becomes, all right? According to a recent report published in New England Journal of Medicine, NEJM, New England Journal of Medicine, researchers studied 1,610 COVID-19 positive patients with respiratory failure, all right? And it says, our genetic data confirms that blood group O is associated with a risk of acquiring COVID-19 that was lower than that in non-O blood groups, okay? Whereas blood group A was associated with a higher risk than non-A blood groups, researchers concluded. And that was by Texas Medical Center, all right? So you guys who are seeing this video, make sure you get a pen and some paper, or just take it down in your phone and research these claims, family. I bet you they come back right and exact. I guarantee you. Look it up when you get a chance. You got to talk about it. I can't allow these children to get these COVID-19 vaccinations and they're generalizing immunity because they feel some type of way about melanin, family. We can't allow that. Can't allow that. I got 4 kids. We can't allow that, family. Because it's going to be fucked up if somebody mess around and allow their baby to get a COVID-19 vaccination and something end up happening to them. Because all we had to do was care. All we had to do was be somewhat curious about our well-being and look into it. Don't allow nobody to tell you nothing without investigation, family. That's the biggest mistake you can ever make. Belief it's not going to get you a better result than knowing. All right? When I know, I know. You can go into a job with belief, hey, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. But there's another thing for an individual to come in there with experience, to come in there, you know, with prior education of what they're doing. They're way more likely to do a better job than the individual who just believe, who just think they know what they're talking about. All right? So it's better to know, family. So I can't accept no information without checking these European scholars. Like I said, independent research is available to the black community. All right? Now, one of the best things smoking out there when it comes to information. All right? We can debate however you want to do it. Contact me, hit me up, we can set it up. But I really want a European scholar from one of these colleges, Duke University, somebody. Give me a debate with one of these European scholars, man, so I can eat them alive. Let me see what we got. But yeah, family, y'all already know what it is. When you get a chance, check me out on YouTube, www.youtube.com/The Nature God, Omni Ashu. Okay, The Nature God is spelled TheNaturGod, space Omni Ashu is spelled OMNIAMUNASE. All right, or you can just type Omnis into your Google search, and my information will pop right up. So make sure you do that. My Instagram is www.instagram.com/OmniOmnis without a space. So that's a lowercase o MNIS, lowercase o MNIS. All right, that's the Instagram. And of course, you guys are already on the book right now, but this video will be going to the tube. So just in case you're seeing this video through my YouTube, my Facebook is www.facebook.com/OMNIS space OMNIS. All right. And this has been fun, brothers and sisters. Another segment of Natural Sciences 101, historical and scientific literacy for indigenous people. We coming back, and you know what I'm saying, we ain't taking no shorts. You know what I'm saying, because something got to give, family. So be sure to come build with me every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern. So we got Sunday Soul Sessions, and we got Wake Up Wednesdays. All right, so those are the two bills that we have for right now. We'll be adding more shortly. All right, and we got a lot of stuff going on, family. So I'm just trying to organize everything. And we'll be doing this, like I said, every week. So I thank you guys for your time, your energy, love and light to all the brothers and sisters who chimed in and, you know, and share some time with us and build with us. We appreciate that. And it's going down. 2020, make it make sense, family. All right? Peace and blessings. We're going to get at y'all on the next one. Love and light.